Giants offensive lineman Geoff Schwartz with Armen Levack on 104.5 The Team, as he has every Tuesday at 5:15. And Schwartz, Tom Brady suspended the first 4 games of the year. Was that the right punishment for the NFL to give the Patriots quarterback?
Obviously they thought it was harsh enough to give him 4 games, which is a lot. I mean, it's a fourth of the season. I'm sure with appeal in that process that it might get reduced a little bit, but they obviously felt strong enough where they wanted to punish him. I didn't really read the whole Wells report, so I don't really know kind of what all the facts are. I kind of just know what was reported on Twitter and kind of afterwards. And I don't know, I'm not stay out of it, but it doesn't really involve the Giants, so I try not to think about it too much.
Geoff, just your personal opinion. Do you think some of these suspensions, they give a bigger number because they know once the appeal process is done, they're going to come down a little bit anyway?
It depends because, let's say Roethlisberger got 6 games and went to 4. Other guys have been split. They've been split in half. Greg Hardy's, he got a 10-game suspension. I doubt that it gets reduced by half. So I think everyone's a little, every suspension and appeal process is a little different. And I think also the arbitrators are different for each one of them. So I think they assign the punishment based on what they feel is appropriate. In a sense, with our CBA, we gave a lot of the power to Goodell to give out punishments kind of how he sees fit.
Geoff Schwartz, Giants offensive lineman with Armen Levack. Geoff, something you've said in the past when we ask you what's your biggest frustration about the penalties that Roger Goodell and the NFL office gives down the players, you've used the word inconsistency. You're just not really sure what to expect. Would this fall under that? What we're hearing today out of Patriots land, a lot of the players are saying, I just don't get it. It's inconsistent. The Falcons, for piping in music at their stadium or crowd noise at their stadium, they lost a 5th-round pick and they were fined $350,000 and being fined $1 million and 2 draft picks, and Tom Brady being suspended is not consistent of what they've done in the past. Would you have a frustration of, once again, the NFL was inconsistent on this?
Here's the thing, though, is that, I know the players are upset, but, we signed the CBA that gave Goodell this power. So it's kind of hard for us to be, too upset about it. It's kind of essentially wouldn't fall back on us to not having done our research as players on what the entire CBA entailed. Obviously, each situation is different, and it's hard to compare, the crowd noise to this situation to the kind of the bounty situation in New Orleans. They're all different, and I don't know exactly. I thought about this. I thought, well, what if I was commissioner, or what if I was going out punishment? How would it work? And it's hard for me to think of a uniform policy to where this occurs, this is 2 games. This occurs. It's easy when you have simple is kind of the wrong word, but when you have like a domestic violence, that's domestic violence. This is what's going to be. You have a DUI, what that's going to be. These situations are so unique and so different that what category would they fall under for punishment? So it's kind of tough, I think, that to expect a uniform discipline for these kind of odd infractions that don't really fall into a subject.
Do you get the impression that, like, as the public, we're sitting here looking at it going, isn't there just a flow chart? Like, you did this, this, and this, and if I move these over in this direction, I know exactly how many games you get. Like, does it just feel like everyone else is kind of underanalyzing it?
I feel like that's the way it is in a lot of businesses, but a lot of businesses, there are not as many transgressions. I mean, football's such a big thing. Like, who would have thought that a guy would be deflating footballs and that would be a punishment? Like, what on the flow chart, what does that fall under? Does that fall under competitive advantages? Does that fall under integrity of the game? Does that fall under lying? Does that fall under, what is that under? It's easier when you have actual, like I said earlier, like, a guy, failed a drug test, a guy took steroids, a guy, got a DUI, that type of stuff, like I got an assault. I think it's easier to make a flow chart with those type of offenses than it is something like a bounty gate or this type of situation or Spygate, stuff like that. That's so unique. It doesn't really fall under a category.
Geoff Schwartz, Giants offensive lineman with Armen Levack on 104.5 The Team. Eli Manning told the media yesterday, said, quote, I think this is all about integrity and you have to follow the rules. At the end of the day, is this all about the integrity of your sport that you play every Sunday and that you provide for your family for?
Well, I think it is. I know that Goodell has really hammered that in his tenure of integrity of the game and protecting the shield, and I definitely agree that the punishment, I think, was worse because of that part of it, more than just the kind of the crime of deflating the football. I think it was the fact that he kind of was defiant about it, and that's why he got the 4-game suspension. I think that really is an important thing in the NFL, and I'm proud of, I was thinking about, I heard Eli's comments yesterday, and I was thinking about, our organization and how the great guys that we have, and that, that we just, it's nice to be in a place that hasn't really had any problems. I mean, it's just Giants way and the way that we've done things. And, Eli, I mean, he's been in the New York market 11 years, and 12 years you don't hear anything about him, but he's done a great job of kind of handling the media here.
One of the statements you see people hiding behind is every quarterback doctors the footballs. I mean, you've been around quite a few quarterbacks. Is that true?
I think doctoring the football within the legal rule. I mean, the rules is every quarterback does it. Every quarterback likes the ball a certain way. When the balls are checked by the referees, they're within limits of where they need to be. I mean, quarterbacks like the balls a certain texture, and when the balls come out of the box, they're shiny, and the ball boys and the equipment managers get to work on making the ball feel how they want it to. Now, guys aren't breaking rules, or not. To my knowledge, I'm a lineman, man. I touched the ball one time and twice in an NFL career, so I couldn't tell you what happens, but I've seen kind of the ball get rubbed up and stuff like that. Same as baseball. The baseballs get rubbed up to get a little shine off them and make it a little easier to throw. It's kind of the same process in NFL football.
Geoff Schwartz, Giants offensive lineman with Armen Levack on 104.5 The Team. So, Jeff, you've never heard a conversation between quarterback and offensive lineman of, you talked about, doctoring the balls and getting that right feel. But what about hey, make sure we deflate it to X amount. Make sure it's inflated to this amount. Has that ever come up in conversation?
That has not come up in conversation. People talk about balls, but not in that sense of deflating them.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too is how do you know exactly how much to take out? I mean, I'm sure they don't have a gauge. They probably just pop the needle in real quick and just 1, 2, 3, okay, enough. It's just, I don't know. I seem to think that if you look at a lot of guys that have tweeted about the situation, a lot of them have kind of tried to make not fun, it's maybe the wrong word, just kind of poke fun at the whole process. A lot of guys in the NFL at least don't seem terribly I don't know what's the right word. They seem skeptical about the whole situation.
Yeah. Geoff Schwartz's dog, Oslo Pepperoni, you can find him on Twitter, at Oslo Pepperoni, is now piped into the conversation.
Oslo Pepperoni he just barked in the background.
Yeah.
He's a door barker. The worst part about this? Okay, so he's a great dog. 95% of him, great dog. Except he barks when people come to the house. And it's not it's a mean bark, but he's really cool. He's wagging his tail, but he gets really excited. Sometimes he farts. and farts? the juice gets all over the place.
Oh, that's not a fart anymore.
Yeah, but I didn't want to say it I didn't know how to say that. Exactly.
Please don't. I think you said it. I think you did good.
Yesterday, someone came over the house, and I forgot to put Oslo out before they came over, and he sprinted downstairs. And my wife was like, "You better clean up that stuff up when your friend leaves."
When your friend leaves, your friend comes over to play video games.
Yeah, and there's just I got a video game. I don't even know what a video game is. When you have a 10-month-old kid, how do you play video games?
It's always a way. That's what the nap time's for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nap time is for my nap.
Ah, fair.
True that.
It's so quiet. It's so quiet right now. He's just sleeping, and the dog's pacing because he thinks someone's coming to the door. I don't get the dog. Why is he doing that?
Clean up in aisle 7.
Oh, it's so bad, dude.
Geoff Schwartz, Giants offensive lineman. Hey, how are the new rookies, man? What has your interaction been like with the new guys?
So we've had, they had their minicamp this weekend. I did not watch the minicamp. I chose to not be at the facility and spend time with my family. Probably a good choice. I can't imagine the minicamp. You have 65 rookies, and they just learn the plays, and then they just go practice. It's got to be a complete disaster. Really, and then poor Dante Fowler hurt himself. The Broncos had a 3rd-round draft pick. But all right, back to Giants rookies. So we've had him. We've had him in the last couple of days, and I've interacted with like Eric Flowers and Bobby Hart, kind of offensive lineman. And Eric Flowers is a big dude. He's strong. We lifted together today. He's a strong cat. I'm looking forward to seeing. He's a quiet guy, kind of feeling his way. And I get it, man. I remember being a rookie. It's tough, especially I was a 7th round pick. He was a 9th pick overall. So, but it's nice to have those guys in and start working with them and kind of get them acclimated to the group. And I'm excited to kind of see them in camp with the pads on.
He's drawing comparisons to Kareem McKenzie. Eric Flowers is. Is he that big and physical?
I've seen Kareem a couple times. I don't know if he's that big. Kareem had big chest, big shoulders. Eric is I would say he's 330. He's a big man, but he's not. He's very proportionate. Like you wouldn't think 330, and so it's impressive to have a guy who's looks that lean, who's that strong and big. So, but I definitely think that they hope that he comes in and plays like Kareem did and kind of holds down a tackle spot for a long time and kind of brings that nastiness, that run blocking style that we need to get back to.
Geoff Schwartz, Giants offensive lineman with Armen Levack on 104.5 The Team. You're home for New York sports every Tuesday at 5:15. Knowing what you know, your educated guess, you still think, first impression, that he fits best at right tackle next to you at right guard?
I think he'll end up there just because, we have William, and William played well last year. It's hard to project, what's going to happen. Obviously, like example, John Jerry last year was starting for us at right guard all season, and he was like third string going into the fourth week of the preseason. And Mosley got hurt, and JJ played well in the preseason, and he was a starter. So I definitely think Eric is a tackle. I don't see him as a guard. I think he's very athletic. Not to knock our athleticism inside, but you got to be a certain type of athlete to play tackle, and he definitely fits that mold of long arms, strong and powerful. And I'm excited to see him get after it.
What now? Will Pugh be okay with the potential move to guard? You know him better than we do.
I think so. Pugh is, Pugh works hard. He works efficiently. He's strong in the weight room. He's a good athlete. He's got good feet. I don't think he'll have any problem if he does move to guard. And we know as an offensive line that that you want to play the 5 best guys. And sometimes guys have to move positions. He's young enough where I don't think it'll be a big issue for him. If a guy like maybe me who'll be like, hey, you need to play left tackle, let's say. That's a tough transition. You're 8 to kind of go play a position I never played. But he played the left side all college career. He ends up the left guard. I think he'll be okay with that.
Geoff, I know you said you don't even know what a video game is anymore, but there's a chance, a now 1 in 2 chance, that OBJ is on the cover of Madden. It's him versus Gronkowski. Do you take pride in the fact that the Giants are about to beat the Patriots yet again?
Is it a fan vote?
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's an interesting fan vote. Wow. I had
you got to get on that Twitter, man.
I had no idea, man. I haven't played. Here's the thing. I used to play Madden, right? And then it just got too complicated. Like it just was. And they do like ridiculous stuff. Like you throw a ball over the middle of the field, and some linebacker would jump up like 12 feet in the air and like intercept the ball. I'm like, this is not. I'm not playing this game anymore. That's the problem with baseball games. It's like dudes that can't catch an outfield are like jumping up the wall and taking home runs back. And it's like I'm not playing. The best baseball video game of all time is, by the way, MVP 2005. That's not debatable. And I still play that game. That game's awesome. It's 8 years old. It's the best baseball game ever. Oh, actually, it's 10 years old now. It's the best baseball game ever. It's realistic. You can actually hit. You can pitch. It's like a normal baseball game. It's like how it works. Like the games are not 27-24. They're 2-0 and fun to play.
See, I just like any of them to have the home run derby because you can get loaded with a couple friends and play.
Yeah, that one, MVP 05 has home run derby.
All right, I'm in.
Our producer
but
Andrew's nodding his head.
So, you still play Madden?
Not in 2 years, and that's a sad statement on my part.
Why? But I just feel like it's like there was too much going on. Like, why can't you just run the ball? Like, I feel like you never run the ball, and then when you pass, it's like you get sacked every time. It's just I feel like there's just too much going on.
So it's like today's NFL: throw the ball and barely run it.
Yeah, I know. That's actually, people are probably happy about playing that.
Geoff Schwartz, Giants offensive lineman with Armen Levack on 104.5 The Team, 104.5theteam.com every Tuesday at 5:15. Good talking to you, man. We'll talk to you again next week.